Hey everyone. Let's see here. I had a little bit of technical difficulties. So before I get too far into this, I'm on the right mic, I'm on the right camera, and let's see how this goes. Okay. It is March 10th. This is Scott Winter's channel, and it is my weekly accountability weigh-in motivational live stream, if you will. I am 82 weeks into my bariatric surgery. I had a Roux-en-Y gastric bypass surgery on August 12th, 2022, and I am doing a weekly sort of accountability check-in for me, but also hopefully a motivational and Q&A answer session for people out there on the interwebs to join in. If you are struggling with your weight, maybe you have had bariatric surgery yourself, or you're using other type of weight loss tools, then I hope you can join me, share your experiences, and use this as a way to sort of build community around living a healthier, lighter lifestyle. Okay, so this week for me, I want to say I'm even, but I'm down. I actually did a week over week on MyFitnessPal, and it says I'm even, but I was up a little bit, so I consider that a down too. I worked my way back down. I am currently at 196.2, and that is a total loss of 136 pounds since I had my surgery, and I'm definitely below my goal weight. I think my goal weight was like 220, and I'm at 196, so way below my goal weight. But as I keep saying, I'm trying to actually lose a little bit more. I just for fun, for my own well-being, and just trying to see what life would be like if I was down to like 180, 190. But I'm taking it slower because I don't want to lose weight too fast like I did last summer. So step by step, and working on gains at the gym, and of course building my muscle as well. But in today's episode, I want to talk a little bit about some stuff that I see in the bariatric community, especially about stretching your stomach. This is a question I see like all the time, and I thought I would give my unscientific, unmedical advice about stomach stretching and what that means as a bariatric patient and what that can mean for you. But before then, I want to talk a little bit about a couple of life updates. So nothing major. Work is work, and everything is going on. So if you know me, I believe in a holistic approach to weight loss, that it's more than just eating, it's more than just exercising. It's really a lifestyle change, and it's about being mindful, and it's about being your best person or best health you can be in health, wealth, and love. And health, wealth, and love might be health is in terms of like, obviously eating and like, your actual overall health and weight. Love is like your relationships, whether that's with a spouse or a friend or with other things, and wealth obviously is building yourself in terms of career, jobs, and money, right? We all need these sort of three things to survive. It's funny, I actually just listened to a book called Super Communicators by Charlie Duhigg. It's a really great book if you are into kind of like research and self-help. And he actually cited a study that I know quite a bit about, is the Harvard study on longevity. And we did a Big Brains podcast episode on this one where they go and they've studied these Harvard graduates throughout their career or throughout their lifetime. And I'm sharing this because I think it has an important aspect of it. But they say that one of the keys to living a healthy, happy life is your relationships. Your relationships are key in terms of maintaining longevity and living a long, happy, healthy lifestyle. And the study actually follows two men who went to Harvard, right? So these aren't like exactly stupid people, if you will, but one did really well, became a doctor actually, and not a doctor, a lawyer in Chicago. Was expecting to be someone who was going to end his life like on the top of the world. He ended up, being someone who, because of his relationships and sometimes probably being a lawyer, ended up dying a really poor life. Whereas this other person who in his mid-20s, like almost was on his deathbed, in his mid-20s, he realized and became a doctor and actually became a really successful allergist on the East Coast, that by the end of his career, because he was able to give back and because he was able to overcome these challenges, he ended up being really successful and died a really happy man, right? With lots of relationships. So no matter where you're at with this in your life, if you have bad relationships or good relationships or want to build that, you can change. Obviously, change is everywhere. And I think that if you are happier and healthier with your own physique and your body, then building relationships is something that actually comes more natural and is easier to do if you have the lifestyle to support it. So I think that's interesting. Really interesting book. super communicators. Really interesting study on the Harvard long-term longevity study. It's like the longest study on humans of all time. So I'll add a link in the show notes for that Big Brains episode. It was really interesting. Okay, so weather's getting nicer here in Chicago, which is great. Being more outdoor activities. I went for a little bit of a walk today and really wanted to go for a bike ride yesterday, but it's only like 40 degrees out, and that's pretty cold yet to be on a bike, so I'm going to wait until it's like at least 60 out to do a bike, but not bad considering it's like early March. So happy that the weather is turning around and looking forward to doing some more outdoor activities and creating more content while I'm outside. I have some ideas for what I want to do with this channel in the coming weeks aside from these accountability check-ins. One thing I'm working on right now is a series on exercise. I feel like when you go to get bariatric surgery, the surgeon and the doctors do a really good job, and the dietitians do a really good job of coaching you and telling you what's going to happen. Like, obviously, the surgeon does their work with, like, the surgery, and then the dietitian does their work with, like, eating and stuff like that. But I think they only come to a certain extent in terms of exercise. I feel like that's the missing link, and I feel like this channel could be a really great way to share with you what I've done to exercise and what I think is what I would do again if I had to do it over. Obviously, I'm not like an expert at it, but I think I have some advice. I actually have been exercising. I mean, like anyone, I've been exercising my entire life, right? So I feel like I have some knowledge of what to do and what not to do, but I also lost 100 plus pounds twice in my life now. So I feel like I have some things to say on this, but also at the same time, I do know that I'm going to make sure no one's waiting in the chat here. Sorry about that. I do also know that there are people who know more about this than I do. So I do try to be realistic with my advice. Sorry, I'm trying to get to I see there's some viewers. So, hey, I'm glad you're viewing. Leave a comment. If you like what I'm doing, leave a comment. Tell me I'm doing great. Tell me what I could change, and I'd love to get your feedback on that. So I'm pulling up the live stream right now. And also, I appreciate you watching me and not the Oscars. I'm definitely not the Oscars, so thank you for that. But basically, I have to mute myself here. So basically, there is some things I want to cover in terms of exercise, like what to do. I know for me, it's sort of like a little bit of a tease. I happen to have a exercise routine that I knew from the first time I lost weight, so I sort of just picked that up. And it was natural for me to kind of get back to the gym. I was already working out before the surgery, which was a good thing. But basically, I have some ideas, especially when it comes to bariatric surgery, that I would do differently, even over the time that I lost weight the first time. One is I would not necessarily do a lot of cardio with weight training at the same time, because it's impossible to gain muscle when you are like in such a calorie deficient state. So I think that you should exercise in terms of like walking and burning calories, because it is what I call the deficiency factor. Calories in versus calories out. Like, you got to burn more than you eat, but at the same time, you also need to like realize that you're not going to gain a lot of muscle mass during this process. In fact, you're probably going to lose muscle mass in this process. So it's good to keep some workout things going, but if you want to hit the gym to build mega muscles, I wouldn't necessarily use this time, especially if you are within a year or a year and a half of your journey from surgery, to try to build massive muscles. Is probably not going to happen. In fact, it's going to be the opposite. So I would focus on exercising and weight training to drop calories for fun and for exercise, but not necessarily for building. I'm actually at a point now where since I'm about almost 2 years out in August, that I want to start adding some muscle gain. So, but I'm also way below my goal weight. So that's one reason why I'm trying to lose a little bit, because I want to actually lose a little bit of weight so I can gain it back, if that makes any sense. But right now, I'm focusing on doing what works for me, and I hope you do what works for you in that process. Okay, something that I see like every week on the bariatric forums is stretching your stomach. And can you stretch your stomach and overeat and gain weight back? And this is a complicated question that varies depending on where you're at in your journey. And if you had the surgery and you want to chime in, please do in the comments. But basically, one, yes and no. Yes, you can sort of like mentally stretch your stomach at some point. It also depends on what surgery you've had. I purposely chose the gastric bypass because it's supposed to be harder to stretch your stomach. The vertical gastric sleeve, or VGS, is actually supposedly a little bit easier to stretch at some point because it's just a slice of your stomach, whereas the gastric bypass is literally a pouch. So that's why I picked that surgery, because it's supposedly harder to eat yourself through. Now, that being said, even with the gastric bypass, at some point, your actual stomach will heal and you'll be able to eat more. Like right now, if you saw my channel, I posted, we went to this place called Egg Tuck, and I had like an egg and avocado sandwich, and I was able to eat basically the whole sandwich. So yes, you can sort of resume eating your normal thing. And in fact, a couple of the gents that chimed in on the Facebook post about stretching your stomach said that yes, I've gained weight. Some people have even returned to a larger body, unfortunately, after this, because you can definitely eat yourself back. But that being said, what's nice about the surgery is that, one, it is a tool. So like I do feel it, especially if I overeat. So it is like a signal to myself to say, hey, look, I need to slow down or stop eating, or also count my calories. Like that's a big thing, is counting. But two, like, once you're at a lower weight, you should be able to continue to exercise and be more active in a way that you're going to burn more calories than when you're 300, 250, 300, 400 pounds. It's much harder to be more active at that weight. So the answer is, this surgery is a tool to get you down to your weight, to make life more easier to navigate and be able to exercise more. Like exercise is like hygiene. You should go to the gym every day, or at least several times a week, to like maintain your physique, because that's like hygiene, like brushing your teeth. But at the same time, like it's not going to be completely like cutting your stomach up and there you go, you're going to be thin for the rest of your life. There's definitely going to be challenges you have to overcome, especially when it comes to your relationship with food and potentially tracking your calories and stuff like that. So it's a complicated answer, but physically you can't technically stretch your stomach out, but that doesn't mean you can't graze and eat food all day long. Right, like you can still overeat. You can still eat the wrong things, like high calorie, high sugar foods, high carbohydrates, not eating enough vegetables or dietary fiber. Like you can definitely do everything you did before to gain weight. You can do again. It's just you're probably going to approach it differently than you would before. And hopefully you're going to use this as a tool to catch yourself to not get to that point, and or if you do gain a little bit and you're measuring, like you're measuring on the scale, you're measuring with counting calories, you'll be able to correct it and then address that at some point in doing different things, right? So hopefully if you see that you're gaining 25, 30 pounds, then obviously you need to make corrections in your diet, you need to make corrections in your activity, and you need to seek professional help, right? You seek a coach, go to see a physical therapist, go see whoever whether that's a health coach, whether that's a dietitian, whatever, like you need to get help to get you to where you want to be and stay motivated, right? I think that's a big thing as well. So that was the main topic for this week. I always love to talk about the 50 tips for a winning diet from my TOPS group. And each week I give one tip from this sheet that I have. So I missed last week. I was out at my mom's house doing her taxes, and I was there a little bit too late. So by the time I got home to do the live stream, it was just too late. It wasn't going to work out. So anyways, I'm here. And basically, the tip for this week is to eat on a schedule. Okay, now this is something that is easy to do, but not easy to do, or easy to say, not necessarily easy to do. We all have busy lifestyles. I think that ideally, if you can eat on a schedule, that is a good thing. Most of us probably naturally eat on some type of schedule, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like I know for me, I typically, especially on a work day where I'm going in the office, like breakfast is at 7 in the morning or whatever, 6 or 7 in the morning. Lunch is at noon. Dinner is when I get home. Now, working from home, things get a little wonky. This is really where we're eating on a schedule could be helpful, is because sometimes I tend to eat outside of when I'm supposed to be eating. So when you eat on a schedule, you can easily tell yourself, hey, it's not noon, therefore I should not be eating. Or it's after 7 and we eat dinner at 7 o'clock, therefore no more food until tomorrow morning, right? Those are some good things. In fact, one thing I love about the MyFitnessPal app is that it has a fasting tracker, and I don't do fasting like 3 days of fasting. I don't recommend that diet, but I do fasting from 7 p.m. until 7 a.m., right? The 12-hour fast, which is why we call it breakfast, right? Or break fast, is to break that evening fast. So that I do like, and that's one thing that with fasting at night is like sort of signal to be like, hey, I'm not supposed to be eating right now. Therefore, if it's 10:30 at night, why am I eating? Did I not eat enough protein during the day, or did I not have enough calories during the day? Or if I'm eating now, like, why am I eating? Sometimes I eat at 10 o'clock before I go to bed because either I haven't had enough protein or I'm hungry. And if I'm hungry and I can tell I'm physically hungry, like sometimes I can feel it like in my gut that I'm hungry, then I need to eat something, because although it's good to be calorie deficient, you also want to make sure that you're not deficient in general. So if I'm going to bed that hungry, then probably something is not right. I should check my diet. But it is just a good reminder that if you stay on an eating schedule, like at 7, noon, and 7 or whatever you do, then if you're eating outside of that schedule, something is wrong. And this is actually an interesting day to do this because today is the first day of daylight savings time. So we just changed the clocks back last night. So eating on a schedule, like, you'll notice it because you're like, it's 5 o'clock or it's 6 o'clock or it's 7 o'clock. But because we're an hour ahead, right, it's like, like when you're hungry, like your hunger signals change. And this is one reason why I don't like daylight savings times, is because it wrecks things like this. But ultimately, eating on a schedule is a good thing. And if you can maintain that, I would say do it. Although it's really hard to do. But it's easier said than done, I know. But basically, a good piece of advice, solid piece of advice that we've been living by for years, and something that we should consider today. It's sound advice that will last for a lifetime. Okay. Finally, no matter where you're at in your journey, whether you are just starting out, whether you have had the surgery, maybe you've even regained a little bit, I want to talk a little bit about motivating for this week. This week, I really want to hit back to the gym. I had a really fun time on Saturday going to a different gym. I went to the Evanston gym versus the Lincolnwood gym. So it was a little fun, a little different, to mix things up a little bit. But I have a motivational quote that I wrote, and I have to read it, so I apologize if I'm looking down. But, this is our journey, and where every step counts and every effort matters. Here we believe the transformation is not just of our body, but our mind and spirit. Remember, weight loss isn't just about the numbers on the scale, but about embracing a healthier lifestyle one day at a time. It's about finding the strength within you to push through challenges, celebrate every victory, big or small, and never lose sight on where you started. You are not alone on this journey. We are here to inspire, motivate, and support each other. And let's embrace this journey with positivity, determination, and the belief that we can achieve our goals. Together, let's make a lasting change that goes beyond the physical, shaping us to a happier, healthier you. Stay strong, stay motivated, and let's transform our lives together. Thank you so much for watching this live stream. If you like what I'm talking about, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. I love your feedback. If you want to share your journey with me, please do. Tell me where you're at this week. Tell me if you're up, down, even in the comments. And until next week, have a positive, powerful week. Stay motivated, stay healthy, and close those rings. Bye for now.